Let's get ready to rumble!
Hello, and welcome to Netflix vs. Cinema, the podcast that is getting an increasing appreciation for, let me get her name right. Ooh, it's Anna, oh, good Lord. Yeah, we're having an increasing appreciation for someone whose name I've just totally forgotten. I've just blanked on right now. Anyway, my name is Tosin.
No.
I am the host. I am up in I'm in the UK, in the Midlands, and joining me as always on the Isle of Wight are Sharon.
Hello.
And Shaun.
Hiya.
Yes, and this week we have given ourselves a little bit of a challenge because one of us is a bit too tight to pay for Zoom, which means that whenever we get online to actually record our Zoom our podcast, we have like 40-minute sessions, and so we have to sort of stop one session and go into the other session. And this week we've given ourselves a challenge of doing everything within one Zoom session. So that means that 40 minutes. We're going to try and see if we can actually do this.
People.
Yes, we've got this. We can do this. Let's see if we can get everything done within one Zoom session. So this is in the week in which the Oscars have happened. Yes, the Oscars happened. Were you guys aware of the Oscars happening?
Even though we had talked about it, I had completely forgotten about it until I was driving to work the next morning and Zoe Ball was talking about it on The Breakfast Show. And I went, it was the Oscars.
So, I was exactly the same. Zoe Ball in the morning. Radio 2. Was it Radio 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoe Ball is on.
Zoe
Ball is on Radio 2.
And it only takes me 10 minutes to drive to work, so I only heard a snippet and like one song. So I didn't hear an in-depth discussion about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit difficult to talk about the Oscars when there's a lot of films that we haven't seen and not even available for us to see in this country. But I think
that's annoying.
Yeah, but I think this year, the Oscars, there was a feeling of the Emperor's new clothes about it. I was like, hang on a second, why are these things actually important? And I started feeling as if I think they're only important because they tell us that they are important. The Oscars tell us, oh, these are really important, you should pay attention. And then you go, oh yeah, maybe they're important, maybe I should pay attention. And then this year you're like, they're kind of, but they're not intrinsically important.
No.
Like life carries on. Whether we notice the Oscars or not, life carries on. So, but congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to Nomadland, which Shaun is available today on Disney Plus.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so you can go catch up on
I can watch that one. Yeah, I really want to see that.
And we can find out what all the fuss was about. And to Nomadland and to Chloe Zhao, who won the best director, the second woman ever, the first non-white woman to win it. I was like, when they said, I was like, no white person. No. Bong Joon-ho won for Parasite last year. He wasn't white. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to everybody and I think at least for putting something together. Congratulations to them, and also to Anthony Hopkins for winning Best Actor.
What about, isn't there a bit of controversy over the guy who was in Doctor Who?
Noel Clarke.
Noel Clarke,
yeah.
That's him. Yeah. There's a bit of bit of controversy over that, isn't there?
There's a bit of controversy, although
that's the BAFTAs. That's the BAFTAs.
That was the BAFTAs. Yeah. BAFTAs gave him something, and it's. That's just broken today, and we'll see how that develops. That develops because it's one of those things. I feel like there's a lot of people saying a lot of things about it. When we know nothing.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay.
Anyway, the name of the person who we're having an increasing appreciation for is Anna Bishop Jara. I could remember the Anna, I could remember the Jara. I'm not sure whether it's pronounced Jara or Yara. Anna, please let us know. And Sharon, because she has been going all of our social media outlets. Okay. She's on the YouTube channel, she's on the Facebook page, she's commenting on a whole bunch of stuff that we put out there. And I asked about her name, and the spelling of the name is Norwegian.
Ooh. Okay.
It's a Norwegian spelling of Anna, and she's actually in Minnesota in the United States. And she says that her mum wanted to call her that, or didn't want to give her the normal sort of spelling, wanted to give her a name that everybody would know. Yeah, this is different. And so she says that the name still gets pronounced wrong though. But she said to us, quickly before we get onto this, we're wasting valuable moments here, but it's on Anna, so it's cool. It's like, she says, thanks for the shout-out and the dedication. I found you when I was searching for a review of The Serpent on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, and she heard Sharon's initial description. And now she now says, thank you to Sharon's initial description. Instead of spending half an hour looking through Netflix descriptions every time I want to watch something, I've now got a good go-to list that I got from your podcast. Thanks for that. My life is a little bit easier.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Since then, I've really, really, in capital letters, liked St. Francis and got weirdly obsessed with The Serpent.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you for listening. Thank you for getting in touch. And for those of you who might be listening to us for the first time, Netflix versus cinema, what we usually do is that we we go to the cinema and we watch a couple of things in the cinema. We watch a couple of things at home on Netflix and various streaming platforms. We come back, we rate them out of 5, and we see where, on average, where has our money been better spent this week. Obviously, no cinemas for a while, although we're getting closer. In the UK, we are getting closer to getting cinemas back. So we will be doing that soon. But in the meantime, we're just talking about the things that we have seen at home. Now, this week, we have a couple of things going on. I finally finished watching, because it finished last week, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. Sharon, I think you've managed to make your way through a new Netflix show.
Yes, Shadow and Bone.
And Shaun, because Shaun, if you've never met Shaun before, Shaun tends to go beast mode most weeks and just watch a whole bunch of things. And we have to sort of like whittle them down and say, Shaun, bring one. Give us one. bring one forward. Usually we have an also ran session, but because we're trying to do things within one Zoom session this week, we're going to cut that down. So Shaun, what is the one that you're bringing forward to us this week?
Okay, the one I'm bringing forward this week is To the Stars. Now, To the Stars, yeah. This was on Sky, this was on Sky Movies. And it's basically a story of...
hang on. I'll start the clock. We'll give ourselves 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I probably won't be able to say that long.
But you said that last week, and look what happened.
I did. Yeah. Okay, but this is probably one of the films. Anyway, basically, 1950s America, rural town like Kansas. There's a sort of dowdy girl that's very, very shy and not very good, and gets a little bit bullied. And she's starts off with her walking along to school, and some boys pull up and they start to bully her. And then this other girl turns up and starts sort of scaring away the boys. She starts throwing the old stones. So you've got this. And she says she's come from the city and her dad's a photographer. And so this bullied girl, sort of, she looks out for this bullied girl, because you've got the normal crowd, high school. I don't know, Sharon, have you ever seen The Last Picture Show? No.
Oh, probably some years ago. I don't remember much about it.
But anyway,
Shepherd.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
When she was really young. Anyway, so you've got this dowdy girl who's not very self-confident, and obviously as the film goes on, she makes the girl become more confident. She gives her makeup. But of course her mother, who used to be like the local beauty queen, is being very nasty to her, so always tries to bring her down. And so as soon as she looks nice, the mother's like, oh no, you don't want to do that, they're really upset. Okay. Few tones of Carrie, I guess. But there is
so far sounds like standard thing of female friendship.
Yeah, a field friendship. Anyway, and then it gets a little bit. Should we say there's a few convoluted twists where they go to have their hair done for the prom. The lady who does the hair, the hairdresser. You think there's something not quite right about. No, she's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. But you think there's something there, and the really confident girl starts to become more friends with the in crowd, should we say, which really upsets the other one. Anyway, let's put it this way: it's just really, really sort of a coming of age story.
Yep.
With a couple of twists, which, I mean, the thing is, what happens is with these sort of films that I watch is I sort of get up, I check my emails and stuff on the thing, and I put on the telly. And I just go through and I put something on, and then I think, well, this looks quite good. And then I think, oh, this would be a good thing to do for Netflix versus cinema. and as I say, this is something that I wouldn't have deliberately gone to see, but I did end up becoming quite interested in it, and it did have tones of. I mean, I really loved the Last Picture Show, and it had tones of that. And the ending, I don't know to say if the ending was a bit disappointing or. I mean, some of the things that happened, they were quite controversial in that day and age. You know, should we say, with like different relationships between, you know, different sexes. But obviously, in that time, it was really, really just totally, you know, it was like you just don't do that. You know what I mean? So if you've got a reputation that these sort of villagers will find out, you know, all the people that live in the town find out, they're not going to be particularly happy. And it's a bit that, you know. Redneck, like let's get the old baseball bats out and things, and you know, we don't want those sorts.
Because you mentioned a couple of titles before we started, and you said which one do you want to hear about, and I said To the Stars, because bearing the fact that you had watched it and it was called To the Stars, I thought this was going to be a film about space exploration.
Oh right, okay,
that's what I was thinking, that it was going to be like early NASA or something.
Yeah, but you think, wouldn't you? You would think. I mean, I don't know what the title has got to do. I think there's a scene where they're in like a special place where they're looking up, and I think that's where To the Stars, for probably where the title comes from, because there's like this you know, like sort of private place, should we say, with a big lake. And
it's probably a quote from a poem or a book or something.
It probably is, actually. As I say, I didn't look that much into it because, I mean, I let you guys choose which film. I'm just kind of like, it's one of those things where you choose something and then you sort of finish it, where you go, whoa, this is not where I expected us to end up at all. It's kind of, I'm like, oh, Shaun ended up watching a film about budding female coming of age friendship. Wow. I know. That was
so. What did you think at the end? How many stars would you give it?
Probably. Oh, I don't know. Difficult one. Probably about 3. I reckon. Probably it was one of those films that I probably would have turned off, but I thought I was quite interested in it. I thought it was quite well acted, and it obviously, I mean, I watched the whole thing, so obviously, you know, let's not say I wouldn't like, there's a masterpiece, but it was okay. I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was pretty good, so I'll give it an average 3 stars. This one.
Oh, cool. Average 3 stars.
And the other one, but yeah, got. But so I could say quickly. No, that's all right. Yeah, no, that'll do.
All right, cool.
I'll save the others for next time.
Yes, we'll save the others for next week. And Shaun, let's see. And that's you with a minute and a half left. Not bad.
Cool. In that minute and a half, can you name that film that's in my background?
Okay, cool. So now what Shaun usually does each week is that Shaun shows up with a different Zoom background, which is a still from a film, and we need to name the actors in it and name the film. Now Sharon has already sort of let the cat out of the bag and said that. So you can find these on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page.
Edit me out.
Yeah. Find it. And so yes,
what about those actors?
The actors from left to right. What we can see: I'll go Leonardo DiCaprio. That is Carey Mulligan, Joel Edgerton, and Tobey Maguire lurking in the background. And that, as Sharon said, is Baz Luhrmann's Great Gatsby, or The Great Gatsby from a couple of years ago.
2013. 2013.
Oh, good Lord, is that long ago?
Yeah, long ago.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to say 2017.
Well done. You aced that, guys. Well done.
2013.
Yeah, I believe so.
As old as my marriage. But okay, so but also on the topic of these background pictures that Shaun brings up. Now, as I said, Anna has been all over our Facebook pages and our YouTube, and this is what she had to say. This was from this, I guess you guys will be able to guess what film it was that we had that Shaun had in his background that Anna was looking at. She says, "I think that's Peter Ustinov as Nero," and Laurence Olivier. I don't remember the title of the movie, but I'm sure I saw it as a kid. We only had 5 television channels and endless classic movies on boring weekends. What film? Obviously, what film do you think that was?
Spartacus.
Spartacus, yes. It was where we had Shaun showed up with Spartacus as his background movie. But she also says the first thing I think the first thing I think, Shaun would make a very good Roman. He just needs a red cape.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I probably would. I might be a bit tall for a Roman, but yeah.
A red cape and a crevasse, and you'll be set.
But she asks, but would he survive Nero? Ooh. And I told her, I was like, yeah, he'll like that you said that.
I will. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, but she says, I love these background movie stills. They're really fun and they test my movie trivia.
Oh, thank you, Anya.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anna. All right, cool. So we go into a second film. And I will give Sharon, you get the privilege. So tell us about, this is something I've been interested in and I've been thinking I need to watch it at some point myself. But thankfully, I don't have the time. And like Anna says, she doesn't have the time to go through everything. I have Sharon, who picks things up. And the fact that you picked this up makes me think that this might have, at one point, been a book.
Yes, it's part of a trilogy of books that I haven't actually read.
Yes.
So I did enjoy it enough to think I might read it. So that's probably jumps right to the end of my review. But yeah, so because it's based on a novel, there are multi-strands in it. So I'll try to sort of simplify it as much as I can without going into too much detail. But it's basically set in a fantasy world that looks remarkably like pre-revolutionary Russia, as in the clothes, as in the architecture, as in like the strata of society. It just looks, think pre-revolutionary Russia with like frogging on jackets and then military style coats, and this is the world we live in, where there's like this aristocracy and there's like the peasantry and then there's like this murky area in the middle. And in this world, it has been riven by this solid black cloud that is called the Fold. And within the Fold, danger lies. There are monsters, there are creatures. And this Fold has like split this country in half. And they talk about, sort of West Ravka, I think it is, and East Ravka. And basically it's all one country, but it has been split in half by this Fold. And around this Fold, legends have grown up. And one of the legends is that one day a sort of messianic figure will come called the Sunbringer, and this person will come and they will destroy the Fold. And the Fold was created by like this sort of black magic, where someone was trying to tamper with the forces of nature, and they created this entity.
It's like they'll never learn.
They never learn. And so into this world, we then meet these sort of three different groups of people. And there are people within this world who are born with certain abilities. They have an ability to control wind, fire, people's emotions. They can tap into your heart rate and either slow it down or speed it up or stop your heart. They can control how you feel. So there's all these people who've got different elemental skills. And this is the background of our story. And then into this, you have these two orphans who have grown up in an orphanage, and they're both different. One of them, they're both like mixed race in their own way. One of them has like what we would say was like a Chinese mother, and and the other one has like a black father. And so they're in an all-white orphanage. They're the only two people who don't look the same as everyone else. So they have gravitated together, and they have become each other's sort of best friends. And they, every child is tested at a young age to see if they have one of their gifts. And if they have a gift, then they're taken away to join other people with gifts, who then get trained as an army of these sort of people. And neither of them want to be tested, to be separated. So they hide and are not tested, and they run away. And you're probably going to guess that one of these people is gifted. And so we see the story through these. I have to look at my thing to find out what their names are. But one of them is called Mal, and the other one is called Alina. Now, Alina is the main focus of our story, and she's around which the story focuses. She's someone who was just a young girl who's... They found out that she does have a power, which I won't talk too much about.
It sounds like Divergent and Insurgent and those...
It's not as insipid as that.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good then.
Oh, my God.
I think the danger is because those books are not bad books. They just were made into bad films.
Right.
So we can tend to sort of put that label on things and thinking, oh, it's going to be people running around in aimless ways.
I remember that.
But no, this is, I think, I think because the writer who was involved in the making of this, I think you could see her hand saying that, okay, this bit is important, but maybe you can fudge that bit. But yes, so it's it's a fantasy with a sort of world building fantasy with elements of sort of magic, danger, coming of age, learning about yourself, identifying your culture, and what it means to be loyal and who you're loyal to, whether you're loyal to your race, whether you're loyal to your friends, whether you're loyal to yourself. And it draws in all these elements. And so it's an interesting drama. It's an 8-part drama, and it leads you down some paths that become dead ends, and it leads you down towards others. So it's got enough twists and turns to keep you guessing, because sometimes you look at these dramas and you think, it's a love triangle, isn't it? Go on, just tell me, just admit it. It's going to be a love triangle.
Yeah. It's based on a book. It's written for young adults. There's going to be a love triangle. And then it sort
of teases it, and then after a while you think, oh, I think we've got away with it. And so, there are elements that you think it is conscious that it knows the world in which it inhabits, that if we're like a young adult stroke sort of adult romantic fiction, it sort of knows the dangers in which it can fall into, and it has like steered clear of those. So it has delivered proper drama.
Oh, good.
And I thought I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So there's a lovely cast. I thought Ben Barnes was very good as the good guy stroke bad guy stroke you don't know quite what he is.
He's just there to look. He's there to stand rakishly handsome on the stern of a ship.
Yeah, and he's got
while the wind blows through his beard.
Yeah, he just looks dashing like that. And then the two young actors. There's Alina Sarkov, is played by Jessie Mai Lee. She was excellent. And Archie Reno, he plays Mal. So they're the principal young cast. And there's a lot of other cast sort of built around them. But they're all. One of them, I was every now and then I was thinking, you're acting now. This is you acting. Whereas the others, I felt they were inhabiting their roles a little bit more convincingly. But no, I did enjoy it. And so I would give it personally a definite solid 3, a high 3. I think it knows its audience and it would appeal to its audience. Though I don't necessarily think it will appeal to people outside of that fantasy, romanticized fantasy world that it inhabits.
Yeah.
But no, I did enjoy it. It ticked a lot of boxes for me as an engaging, entertaining 8-part series.
No, cool. Thank you. Now, this is another one of those areas that Netflix seems to be throwing its hat into. So you know how we said over the last couple of weeks, Amazon seems to go time loop comedies, time loop rom-coms with the two people in. That's what we're going to do. And Netflix was doing documentaries. We're going to be good for documentaries. But Netflix seems to be doing a lot of sort of young adult adaptations of things. I think there's Shadow and Bone, there's Warrior Nun, there's
Letter
Lock
to
and
the
Key.
King.
Yeah, Letter to the King. That seems to be doing a lot of those, which I guess we don't have time for it on this show, but we're always talking about how Netflix financing things that would not otherwise see the light of day. All right, cool. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sharon, for being within our 7 minutes. Guys, we might do this. We might get this all done within a single Zoom session.
Yep.
I say that. We haven't spoken about the last day yet. So what we are going to talk about third, what I'm bringing to the table is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is the latest Marvel or entry to the Marvel MCU, and this is on Disney Plus. So the first show was WandaVision, which kind of broke the mold. Had you wondering what the heck was going on every single week. And even before this was on, I remember I said on one of our shows that I was pretty sure that this was going to be a lot more straightforward, that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to be a lot more straight down the line, superhero action-y kind of thing. And so it proved that it was a lot more straight down the line, action hero-y. It almost in some ways you say a bit predictable. But I can imagine somebody was sitting there going, okay, guys, we're going to swing for the fences with WandaVision. We need to give people something to remind them that, no, it's still the same old thing. It's still just in case WandaVision doesn't work, just in case people don't like what we do in WandaVision. So this was the bit that was supposed to bring it back in. But it centers all around, this Falcon and the Winter Soldier centers all around, it flows from the end of Avengers Endgame, in which an old Steve Rogers gives his shield to Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, which is essentially passing on the mantle, saying, you are now the new Captain America. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for a large part, wrestles with that whole decision about Sam Wilson. Whether is he going to be the new Captain America? What does he think about it? And this is the point at which Marvel, I think, well, I went on immediately after I finished watching the show. I put it on Facebook, and my sort of one-line review was: does a lot of things right, does a few major things wrong, because and this is the point where Marvel finally decide, yeah, we're not going to hide the fact that the symbol for America, this country America, has just been given to a black man. What's that going to mean? What's that going to mean for Sam Wilson as a black man? What's that going to mean for other people in the country? And so a large part of the thing is Sam wrestling with this whole thing of, can I be Captain America? I'm a black dude. Can I be Captain America? And give what he does with the shield. And there's some things I really like that they do in this show. I think Sam's reaction is authentic. I think when he gives the shield back to the American government, what the American government do with it is very, very predictable.
Yeah.
It's very, very predictable. And I mean, I'm only going to very half-heartedly try to avoid spoilers in this. But so what they essentially give the shield to somebody else and say, this is the new Captain America, who's kind of like, a war hero and all that sort of stuff. And then it becomes like a meditation on what does it take to be Captain America? Do you have to be a super soldier, or do you have to have something other that's intrinsic about you? And there's scenes where like they show the fact that Sam Wilson, even though he is a superhero, even though he has helped save the world, God knows how many times, he's still a black guy who can't get a loan to help a struggling business. And he's still a black guy who gets pulled over by policemen who, when he's just having a chat with somebody in the street, and they're like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I didn't realize it was you. I didn't realize you were an Avenger. I didn't know he was an Avenger. Hey, can I have a selfie? And he's like, no, you just tried to arrest me for standing here. And there's bits where they talk about the history of America, and there was a black super soldier called Isaiah Bradley, and what happened to him versus what happened to someone like Steve Rogers. And just fighting with essentially it's Marvel trying in a small way to fight with the history of with American history, quite frankly, with America's racist history. And so those are things that I liked about it. Those are the thing I liked. I really, really liked the fact that they started delving into the fact that the blip, so the 5-year period after Thanos snapped his fingers, where half the world disappeared. I like the fact that they delved into the fact that this has consequences. It's not just kind of like, oh, half the world's back, everything's fine now. It goes into the fact that, look, for 5 years, people had moved on. People had learned how to live their lives. People had learned to live with a world that had half the population gone, and then all of a sudden, we're like, well, guess what? It would be 3.5 billion people show up again. That's going to cause some problems. What's going to happen? People had opened up borders to just try and we're one world. We're trying to get together. We're one people. We're trying to make these things work. All of a sudden, 3.5 billion people show up, and everybody goes, no, we're all going to get all nationalist again. And there's a group of people called the Flag Smashers who say, no, things were better during that 5-year period. We're going to try and hold world governments to. So essentially, there's a lot of stuff going on in this show. And I think some of it is good, some of it is not so good, some of it is rushed. That it's no secret that Baron Zemo, who was the bad guy in Captain America Civil War, is in this. And the last time we saw him, he was in jail. From the trailers of this, you can see that he's out of jail. The way he gets out of jail, and the way he goes about doing things, and the way everybody reacts to it, I'm not too happy with. It's like all of a sudden, people collectively forgot this guy is a bit of an extremist who killed quite a few world leaders. And all I can say is thank God for the Wakandans, because they are the only ones who seem to remember, hang on a second, this guy killed our king. Why are you running around Europe with him like it's all good? So there are bits where it's stilted. I think the back and forth between Sam Wilson and Bucky as Winter Soldier, it feels a bit forced. It feels like we haven't seen enough of that to say that these guys actually have a relationship that is all buddy-buddy. They are essentially an odd couple that have one thing in common, and that's that they both knew Steve Rogers. But I like the show. I like the show a lot, but I have to admit that at the end of it, that you were kind of like, you kind of got to the end. You got to where you were going, but there's a couple of things, and I think they had production issues because of COVID. There's some storylines that had to get dropped, so it might, and that's why rumors have it. That's why it feels a bit stilted. But in all, I liked it, but I feel like there were some major things that I got wrong. Shaun, I don't know what you thought.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of that stuff I agree with. I mean, for me, Baron Zemo, the bit I loved about Baron Zemo is from when I read him in the comics, because he's like going back to the comics. And as I say, they put things, they put enough in there to keep the old comic fans happy, because Captain Zemo did have a mask.
Yeah,
that's in the, and I mean, it's the same. There's things that's like in the X-Men one when Magneto picks up the helmet. And they're just like really, really lovely moments. And Zemo having that mask, finally getting taking it with him, in that little bag. He's got like the little holdall bag, and he takes it when he does his business. I really, really like that, because that is a Baron Zemo mask. And I mean, that was a fact for me. That was really, really good. And I did towards the end, I did love the amalgam. And that's all I'm going to say, which because I don't want to put any spoilers in, but I did enjoy the amalgam in like the the last couple of episodes. I really, I thought and that was great for me. That was. I thought, that really, really works. That amalgam was just like, fantastic. I enjoyed this. I agree with you. There was a couple of episodes, and I wasn't convinced by the group that are trying to bring down the government.
The flag smashers.
The flag smashers. They didn't really. I think
they started off interesting. And then they became almost kind of like, bad guy movie of the week. Ooh, look at me. I'm like an 80s Russian in an American action movie. I'm going to bring down the government. Why? Because. But
there's, and there's like, and there's a few sort of inconsistencies, I think, with some of the action things. To me, there's a couple of inconsistencies and a couple of things I did. But on the whole, to be fair, it was really, really good.
Yeah,
it was really, really good. I think they've done a good bit. But I agree with you. There was a couple of sort of threads and a couple of episodes that a few like
because for instance, like they have Wyatt Russell. And we have 4 minutes. They have Wyatt Russell, and they have Wyatt Russell who plays he plays a character called John Walker, who gets given the whole Captain America thing. And needless to say, it doesn't go well, because this is a guy who the way they film it is like he's suffering from some form of PTSD from stuff that he's experienced. So they give him a new sidekick and everything. Like, even the fact that you have a new Captain America, and he too has a black sidekick. There's all these things in there that kind of like, there's a little bit of and there's a bit where there's a bit where it doesn't go well with him as Captain America, and then he shows up later on in the show for a very, very weird sort of appearance where people seem to forget that they've thought this guy has done something really, really bad. And just kind of like, come along, come with us. We're super friends. We're going to go do things. And I'm like, hang on a second, guys. What have you? The last time you saw this guy, you were just. And so there's these weird little inconsistencies that might mean that, and the fact that for something like WandaVision had 8 episodes, this only had 6. It might mean that they cut out some stuff because of COVID. Apparently, there was supposed to be a side. There was supposed to be a subplot about a vaccine being released, and about a virus being released. But I think they thought, "Ooh, COVID, no," and they cut that out. And but I think that that has really messed up the Flag Smashers storyline, because Carly Morgenthau, who was played by Erin Kellerman, who I think did really well, but she seemed to go from freedom fighter with justifiable aims to building burning psychopath in
I agree.
At the flip of the switch, and you're like, wait, what happened here?
But the amalgam was brilliant. I mean, I was and looked so good. It was so so well done.
Okay, we're talking about the fact. Okay, so we said we're only going to try and avoid spoilers. So at the end of the show, the title of the show changes from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier to something else. That should give you enough of a clue. And there's a costume. So Sam Wilson has a costume change. I'm not so sure I like it.
You don't like it? No,
I'm not so sure I like the costume.
I like that one,
but I'll tell you what I did like. I did like the fight scenes, and I love the fact that you could see. I mean, there's a bit where the Dora Milaje from Wakanda show up. I love their fight scene in Demo's apartment. And I love the fact that they show their different fight styles. Like the Falcon, I love the way the Falcon fights. I love the fact that he uses his wings and everything like that, and every now he'll do a boost and kicks over to the face, and then you can see that the Winter Soldier is totally different. But anyway, we're about out of time. I would just about give this a 4 out of 5.
I would agree with you on that. Just a 4, just a 4 out of 5.
Just about. It just nips into a 4 because there's some things I still don't worry about.
Yeah.
But anyway, until next week when we'll find something else to talk about.
Well, we might talk about this. We could always revisit it a little bit if we think of some extra things.
Yeah. I think there's probably some things. I want to make a list of things I liked and things I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
With less than a minute to go. Yay! We did it, guys.
Well done.
Dream session. It's going to kick us off in a second, but never mind.
that was yeah. So that was Sharon's positiveness from the start. We can do this.